Welcome back to my lab. Are you ready to learn about God's creation today? I hope you are. Today is when we start getting into the really fun stuff. Rocks and plants and water, it's great and all, but the next few days are the real ticket sellers. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We need to review first. Day 1, God made light and day and night. Day 2, God made skies and sea. Day 3, God made land and plants. Day 4, God made the sun, moon, and stars. And here we are on day 5, and it's time for God to start filling the earth with living, moving creatures. What do you think He'll make today? Well, let's read Genesis 1 and find out. At this point in creation, God will be done with the formation of the earth and the order of the cosmos surrounding it. Everything is in place to sustain life. So today, day 5, God will do just that, make creatures to fill the air and sea. Then God said, "Let the waters abound with an abundance of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the face of the firmament of the heavens." So God created great sea creatures, and every living thing that moves with which the waters abounded according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth." So the evening and the morning were the 5th day. God said on day 5 for the waters and air to abound with life. Do you know how many different types of birds and fish there are? God created so many different kinds of birds and fish and sea creatures that we very likely haven't even found all of them, especially in the deep, dark places of the ocean that are too dark or too difficult to get to. Today is a great day to talk about just how creative God is and how His creation reflects that power from God, His creativity and His ability as a designer. We couldn't possibly have the time to talk about all the birds and fish that God made, but today we'll touch on some that are particularly cool and interesting. Let's start with sea creatures. I want to highlight a handful of crazy, unique underwater animals that really show off God's unbelievable creativity and design. From the biggest creatures on Earth to the tiniest little things that you can't even see with your normal eyes, the ocean is filled with a variety of colorful, interesting things that we are still learning about more and more every day. First, let's study the pistol shrimp. The pistol shrimp is a fascinating little guy. Would you believe me if I told you that this shrimp has superpowers? Okay, so maybe not exactly superpowers, but this tiny little fella has a really big claw. And that claw has a giant thumb on it with a special little pocket inside. When that thumb pops down, it forces the air that is inside that pocket to shoot out as a very fast bubble. That bubble moves so fast in such a short space that it is super hot. The shrimp uses that burst to stun smaller things to eat, to stun bigger things trying to eat it, and it also uses it to boost itself around, kind of like a little shrimpy jetpack. So not really a superpower, but hey, it's kind of close. An octopus is an incredible creature. Octopi have no bones and their bodies are made up of muscles and tissue that they have total control over. They can fit through tiny, tiny spaces. The coolest thing about an octopus, to me, is their ability to change their color. Chameleons, the color-changing lizards, they get all the hype for color change, but the real master of color-changing camouflage is the octopus. The skin of an octopus is covered in all these tiny little spots of different colors. By controlling specific muscles, they can change which colors are showing. They can even control the texture of their skin, making them blend in with nearly everything. Here, look at this picture. Can you see the octopus? Ah, there he is. Were you right? What a wild and wonderful creature. Speaking of wild and wonderful, let's talk about a really big fish that's not actually a fish, the blue whale. The blue whale is the biggest creature on Earth. They're enormous. The biggest one ever recorded was as long as 3 school buses. Their hearts are bigger than most humans. You'd think these big creatures would be terrifying hunters eating whatever they want. No, they eat the tiny little things called krill, which are sort of like shrimp. You see, blue whales feed by sucking in enormous amounts of water, and the inside of their mouths have something called baleen, which is sort of like a giant comb that filters that water since they don't breathe water. They breathe air. All the little krill get caught, and that's what the whale eats. A blue whale has to eat 9,000 pounds of krill a day. That's a lot of food. Now that we've talked about something huge that God made, let's talk about something small, a tiny little bird. The hummingbird is another example of God's diverse and wonderful creativity. The hummingbird is a very small and very energetic bird. It beats its wings so fast that it's like a blur to our eyes. It's only when we slow it down with cameras to see how it flies. If hummingbirds were the size of humans and beat their wings as fast as they do, they would need to eat 1,300 hamburgers a day to keep up with that amount of energy output. If we flapped our arms that fast, we don't have wings, we wouldn't be able to eat any of those hamburgers anyways, because swinging our arms that quickly, we would burst into flame. So, in order to meet that high-calorie food need, God designed the hummingbird to have a long pointed beak and a long tongue. The hummingbird hovers at plants and uses that long tongue to drink up the ultra-sweet nectar in flowers. They flit from one flower to the next, drinking that sweet liquid which gives them the energy that they need. Hummingbirds often come in many different colors, as well as many other birds, but there is none more colorful than the peacock. Their big colorful tails has something that makes them extra special. They have what is called thin film interference on their tail feathers. I know that's a big word that Skeeter would use, and you guys are just dipping your toes into science, but it's really important to understand just what exactly makes a peacock's feather so special, and how that is more evidence of God, like we talked about yesterday. When we were learning about light, we learned about when light hits something, it can bounce off. Well, sometimes if there's a certain surface, the light can go all kinds of directions, like a soap bubble or an oily puddle. Well, peacocks have that sort of oily film on their tail feathers, which make their colors even brighter and flashier. Pretty wild. Stuff like that really helps point people to God. How could something like that happen randomly without someone designing it that way? That's what's so great about God is He created all of this wonderful stuff for us, and He could have made everything simple and boring and not many things different from each other. But instead, He made countless types of creatures that we could enjoy. There's so much beauty in His creation. Oh, hi, Skeeter. Have you been studying birds and fish? How in the world am I supposed to memorize all of these fish and birds? There's got to be 1,000 of each. What? Memorize? Why are you trying to memorize every single fish and bird? There's way too many of that. Well, I want to know everything. I've got to memorize all these fish. Anchovy, angelfish, anglerfish, artichoke. Skeeter, that last one was a vegetable. Ah, drat. Let's say that I have mixed up my list of fish and birds with my grocery list. Skeeter, while the effort is commendable, you may want to spend your energy elsewhere. It's not possible to know everything there is to know about everything. There's parts of the world we haven't even been yet, like deep down in the ocean or dark, uncharted jungles. So just as soon as you learn all of that, there's going to be new stuff that you have to learn. See, the only one who knows everything is God. After all, He made all of it, so of course He would know all of it. Wow, I'm so impressed by God. He's so creative and powerful and wise. His brain must be so big to know all of those things. Today we talked about a lot of really interesting sea creatures and birds, and I love talking about them because we get to show off all the cool things that God made. Let's read a verse to help us appreciate God's creation. Psalm 104:24. O Lord, how manifold are your works. In wisdom you have made them all. The earth is full of your possessions.
Manifold? Is that singer my mom likes to listen to?
No, that's Manilo. Manifold means many. The psalmist here is saying, wow, God, you made so many things with your wisdom, and everything on earth is yours.
Well, I want to learn more about the cool things that God has made. Do we get to learn about more animals tomorrow?
We will tomorrow. Tomorrow we can talk about all kinds of animals. Okay, we'll only talk about a few animals because we only have so much time with our friends, but we'll talk about one special animal the most. People.
What? No way. People aren't animals. You're pulling my leg.
Skeeter, you don't have any legs.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, I guess I'll have to go find out tomorrow. Can we go sit down? Mr. Cliff is probably wondering what's taking so long.
Okay guys, are you ready to sing the creation song? All right, remember we're going through day 5. Here we go. Day one, God made light when there was none. Day one, God made light when there was none. Day two, God made clouds and sky so blue. Day two, God made clouds and sky so blue. Day three, God made flowers, grass and trees. Day three, God made flowers, grass and trees. Day four, sun and moon and stars galore. Day four, sun and moon and stars galore. Day five, God made birds and fish alive. Day five, God made birds and fish alive. Great job, everybody. Now we only have 2 days left. Hey, Skeeter, I heard that you make a great rooster.
What? Who said such a thing? I am highly offended. I am no common barn fowl.
Relax. I'm talking about singing the Booster song. If anyone is grouchy like a rooster, it's you, Skeeter.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so? I am very good at it. But I haven't had any time to warm up. I need a few minutes.
Oh, well, nope, sorry, no time. Ready? Booster, booster, be a booster. Don't be grouchy like a rooster. Booster, booster, be a booster and boost our Bible school. Boost! Skeeter, what was that? You said that you were good.
I told you I didn't have any time to warm up.
Well, let's give it another go and try to do better this time, okay? Booster, booster, be a booster. Don't be grouchy like a rooster. Booster, booster, be a booster and boost our Bible school. Booster! I
told you I was good. Okay, that's all we have time for. If you want to sing some more, come join us at the VBS sing-along video. Bye! Bye!